doppelgangers and soul ties. Just came back from my morning walk with my puppy. I don't know why I keep calling her a puppy. She's a full-grown dog. I've really been thinking a lot about the movie Us. And I saw this article on Facebook where they were talking about the Hollywood stars and timelines and how they found photographs of several of them where they looked identically like their current selves in different time periods. Exactly like themselves in different time periods. It reminded me of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which has been a movie that I've watched like most, if not all, of my life. And then you have now Jordan Peele is doing Us. And I think that those movies kind of correlate. They're like on timelines. You got me thinking about soul contracts. Being 47, I've watched the world change a lot. So I remember growing up as a kid, people were more loving and more kind and more caring. People looked after each other more. And I remember there was more respect given. There was more, yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir. Kids had curfews and they listened more. But then around that time, the world changed. And it was like there was more drugs split into the community. More this. More people became cold and they became just cold, like they were soulless. And now you have this compilation of now, to me, in my opinion, you have a bunch of people walking around without souls. It seems like a soul or a void of a soul. And they have no depth because it's like almost like they have no roots. And they seem almost like shapeshifters to me. They'll take other people's experiences and lives, paths. They talk a lot about a bunch of nothingness because there's nothing rooting in it, no depth. If you do have depth and you have something to say, they really don't like you. It's almost like they target you and try to get you to go through not just an ego death, but a soul death, where you doubt yourself and what you feel, what you believe, and what you know, what is all known to you. And I feel like they've been infiltrating human souls and eating them alive for their own personal gain so that they could take over Earth. My belief is that Earth is an experiment of free love, of love and free will, especially when you think about with what's getting ready to come, the age of Aquarius. And last time they had a burst of the age of Aquarius was in the 60s with the hippies. And it was always the one time period that a lot of people go back to where they say we need to get back to more of that. But whether we like it or not, it's coming. And right now in astrology with the planetary alignments, Ophiuchus is back in the skyline. And Ophiuchus is kind of like behind Aquarius, but Ophiuchus has always been behind Aquarius. So, and Sirius is lined up with the sun. And this month, the 7th month, you're having 2 moons. Or 2 movements of the moon. You have the solar eclipse and then there's a lunar eclipse. It's kind of almost like, to me, what it feels like intuitively, twice the moon and the sun and all the alignments have had sex. I know it sounds weird, but that's what I feel. So with that coming in, what's getting ready to happen next with big event is getting ready to happen next, because one of the greatest big events in the 80s, when they did Us with the doppelgangers, where the shift came and they switched bodies, was Hands Across America. They're always trying to tell us to unite the whole entire world, and I always wondered why. We just need to figure out what's going on in our own individual countries and our own worlds. So could it possibly be that when we start to consider global unity, which is a word that I need to start to, it's that word global has always didn't sit right with my soul. Something about it doesn't feel right. It feels kind of sinister almost, you know. And I feel like it's more of another way to enslave us and get us to forget what we were put here to do. And especially with, you know, the star seeds and the indigos, the crystals and the rainbows, we need to have our elders to help us to remember who we are. But if these soul spirit, my puppy spirit, but if these body snatchers keep taking us, right? Where do we go? What do we do? I've always felt like either a starseed indigo. I don't know when the timelines happened on one of them. Probably an indigo, more of an indigo than a starseed. I think my parents were starseeds. I just don't know. I'm just trying to figure it out. From light through the shadows. I'm just trying to remember. I think I am. I'm piecing it together. I'm feeling my way through this. So I went out and had my grounding technique. It was great and it was magical, and that's what I came with. Yeah. The doppelgangers. Tales from the shadow.